are we still talking with
So
recreational and the same kind of thing, or are we talking about on the street somewhere?
no, on the next page, on page 5, I kept it the same as what you guys had before in the I-1, I-2 zoning districts.
So they're not gonna be on every, well, like some residents will say, on every corner. So
Or
Not-
ice cream truck
not-
going up and down the street.
Yeah, not under this ordinance. I mean,
You know.
honestly, most municipalities that are providing for a retailer provisioning center are putting them in a business district because it's a storefront. I mean, most I-1, I-2s, you don't really have a storefront. You might have like a place for contractors to go, warehousing, you know what I mean? But most municipalities are having at least the provisioning centers in a business district.
So what does that say from us?
I-1, I-2, exactly what you guys had before.
Mr. Chairman, that doesn't change, but the one thing that does change in this industry is because it's so new, it is quickly evolving. I mean, even though we're trying to catch up now, there are things that are out there being discussed, like Uber having the ability to deliver to homes. Now, I don't know how close to reality that is, but I mean, there are real discussions out there about these, ride-sharing programs, just like they deliver food, being able to deliver, recreational or medical marijuana.
We'll probably be doing both.
Yeah, and exactly what you asked, David mentioned, we are seeing locally other cities that are seeing requests for stacked facilities, so not just like a 10,000 square foot warehouse, they're going up like 3 levels or 4 levels in some of these facilities because they don't have a big enough footprint, so they're going vertical. Now, there's a lot of challenges related to that, but it's evolving. I mean, so, we're trying to think about some of those things, but you can't foresee every challenge that's coming down the road.
I have a question, Dave, about what's the difference between the retailer and the micro business? I'm not real clear on it.
The micro business is a model that it's like a micro brewery. Like the beer is being produced on site, supposedly, and I think some of those drums are fake, some of them. But anyway, but the marijuana is being grown, processed on site, and delivered to the storefront right in front of the building. So it would just be like you go to a microbrewery and you see the big canisters that they're supposedly making beer in. So when you walk into this, my understanding is when you walk into a marijuana micro business, that you're walking in the front door, they've got a storefront all there, their marijuana is being grown and processed in the back.
Okay, and the retailer is getting it from a grow business.
The retailer is correct, is purchasing their product like any other retailer for resale.
So essentially, the micro business is limited to 150 plants, so these days?
150.
150. So they have to figure out how to stack that growing process so that they can constantly have inventory, and it's basically seed to sale from the back door to the front door. They grow it in the back, it goes to the front, and it gets sold, and nothing else comes in. So there's no other brands that are sold in.
Right.
Can you consume marijuana at these businesses, Dave, in the microbrewery?
Not that I'm aware of. There is a business as part of the recreational as a marijuana consumption establishment.
Okay.
It would be like a
It's not
cigar
covered
lounge
under
or
micro.
No, it's not covered under
Business,
micro
okay.
business as far as I can tell, because there's a separate license for that. That's another thing for you guys.
Could a micro business purchase, like say, like the mayor pointed out, if they're growing their own, they either got to stagger it to where they have a constant supply. If they don't have the supply, are they able to purchase it from another vendor?
I don't know the question off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's in the emergency rules. I don't know.
I believe the intent is for that not to occur.
Right.
I was just curious of that.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
The other thing that's, I guess kind of evolving, I think I don't know if we omitted it in here or if we addressed it and didn't allow it, Dave, the ability to have these festivals. Is that, is that in there, or did we just leave it out so they would need a specific license or permit for that?
There's a temporary marijuana event organizer thing under the emergency rules, which would be like a temporary permit to hold like some sort of outdoor event on the weekend or some sort of party, or to be able to have a tent outside if there is something going on, to apply for a tent or something. That's another thing that's available.
If we don't include it in our ordinance, but adopt this ordinance, because it's a legal license you can obtain from the state, would somebody be able to have such an event, or?
No. No.
we'd still have to approve their event.
Sure,
permit.
and the enabling ordinance under both medical and the recreational is that the municipalities have the power to govern what they want in or out. That is the number of establishments or facilities they want in or out, and the types of establishment or facilities. And if we don't allow for a temporary marijuana permit organizer, it would not be something that falls with, that's legal in the city.
Question. It referenced probably the law enforcement portion of it. Once we open these facilities, we all these people buying, now they have it in their car. And our officers make traffic stops and they find this in their cars. Is there anything that they would have to present to say, hey, I just bought this down the street? Is there something that maintains that you have to show that you bought it from somewhere, or can it just be in a bag and the officer sees it? Is there, what would happen?
The Medical Marijuana Act provides that you're allowed to have, I think, 2.5 ounces, which is by way
Or it
of
has to
on
be in
you.
a locked box or something.
Right.
Yeah, but even on you. in your
Well, what about
pocket.
the person that just buys recreational and gets in his car and goes home?
No, the medical, well, it decriminalizes possession.
That's what I'm saying.
So technically, if you have a trunk full of marijuana, you would be not protected from prosecution. So this is an important point. Marijuana is not necessary, the Medical Marijuana Act, the original one, and then these acts, it's a little bit of a technocrat type thing. It's still illegal under federal law, and it's not legalizing marijuana. All it's doing is decriminalizing on the state level prosecution of it, okay? So marijuana is still a federally legal substance. There is nothing in the law that says that marijuana is not a controlled substance and is not illegal. It just says that if I have a, I don't even know what's the word, is it dime bag? I'm trying to remember. If I have a dime bag or something, that's right. If I have a dime bag in my pocket or something like that, that I can't be prosecuted for that amount. That's basically what it's saying. Yeah, so in answer to your question, the answer is as long as, like, right now, they're supposed to have a medical marijuana card on them and a certain amount here. Here, if they've got some marijuana, it doesn't matter. We can't investigate where they got it from. Maybe they grew it themselves, maybe they got it from a friend. You know, I don't know, but it decriminalizes the possession of it.
Yeah, the only reason I'm saying that, because we all know, anybody who's been around long enough, they know it won't be long until they'll be lacing that marijuana with something else to make it a little stronger for their needs. And that's what I was thinking, that's all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's why the testing becomes critical.
Right.
You know, there are testing requirements, and I think there's one permitted under this ordinance.
Yeah.
One or two, I don't remember.
Safety compliance,
Yeah,
one.
one.
And Mr. Chairman, one of our primary concerns is not so much the possession of the marijuana, the small, is making sure they're not under the influence. That's really our number one priority.
Yes.
And I did have a question about that. So how, I've heard on the news or something that they're gonna have a test, or so would you just do regular field sobriety?
When the council sent us to the conference that we went to a few months ago, we got to talk to a variety of vendors. And they're coming out with different things that are oral swabs and different things. And it actually tests not just marijuana, but it comes up with a discernible number and other things that may be in their system that's undetectable. But right now, we do it off of our observations. If somebody's under the influence, you smell it, their eyes, their actions, their speech. That's really how we're articulating it right now. And there is a certain number that would go with it, but that'd be from a blood or urine test.
And also, just so you're aware, we've received pretty clear directive from the state police that as far as possession goes, that they're not getting into it as far as is it 2.5 or 3.5 ounces, that they're just not pursuing the prosecutor. That's my understanding.
We adopt the same model.
Yeah.
We met with Prosecutor Worthy about the issue, and like I said, our number one concern is making sure that the people that are driving the vehicles are safe to drive.
Well, and I want to clarify what Chief Hopper just said. We adopt the same model. We reluctantly adopt the same model.
Very well spoken.
Because
Right.
there's really nowhere else for us to go with it. Even if we try to prosecute, we spin our wheels and waste everybody's time and energy.
On top of the practical fact, I don't know if we're going to find juries that are going to convict people of possessing marijuana.
You heard some, I'm not sure if you heard, but most of these presidential candidates are saying they're going to attempt to make it legal federally as quick as possible.